Eliminate terrorists and restore order. President Tinubu orders security chiefs to strengthen collaboration with neighboring countries.
All our theaters have been enhanced. Equipment have been bought. Mr. President has also given us much approvals for air assets and other aspects of security.
Vice President Shettima unveils acquired cutting-edge military hardware as Air Force 61st anniversary celebration continues.
This induction ceremony, therefore, is not merely about adding new helicopters to our fleet. It is a strategic statement of intent, a demonstration of our collective resolve to strengthen our armed forces.
Works, Water Resources and Creative Economy take center stage at 2025 Ministerial Briefing Series. Good evening, I'm Lami Ali. Welcome to the Network News on NTA. With me tonight is Hinginu John Adams in our Lagos studio. Maria Adu-Zakari is on the business news segment. And for latest updates from the world of sports, Badi Adile is here. Remember, you can watch us on the go on nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now, here is the news. Voting continues on NTA survey. We are beaming our lights on the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB. No doubt, the board has done well over the years with some reforms and innovations to ensure quality, eliminate malpractices, and embrace information technology. This has come to some great extent This to a great extent has improved the integrity of UTME. However, the board admitted and apologized for some technical challenges that hindered smooth conduct of the last examination in some parts of the country. So, we sought to feel your pulse on what the board should do to eliminate technical hitches. Should it accredit only up-to-date centers, ban centers that fail to meet expectations, conduct exams only in urban centers, or reduce number of centers and conduct exams in batches? Let's hear your voice as you vote in tonight's poll. Scan the QR code, make your pick, and stay tuned for the result of the survey at the end of tonight's bulletin. We begin from the State House, where President Bola Tinubu has directed security heads to strengthen collaboration and cooperation with neighboring countries to achieve maximum results in the fight against terrorism and banditry within and around the country. The President gave the directive to the security chiefs at a meeting this Friday. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, service chiefs, heads of intelligence agencies, and representatives of the Inspector General of Police were all part of the crucial meeting. At the end of the meeting, Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, promises that the security agencies are going all out to turn around the situation.
The entire security situation in the country, the president is concerned about what's going on, and we have reassured him that we're on top of our game. We're working extremely very hard. What has happened of recent is that there's a global push by terrorists and jihadis all over the Sahel area, and that pressure is what actually came into Nigeria because of the nature of our borders. And so we have, Mr. President has given directives as to what to do next for us to intensify all efforts, collaborate with all our sister countries around, because it is the porous nature that is coming there that is actually aggravating our own issues on ground. And so all our theaters have been enhanced, equipment have been bought. Mr. President has also given us much approvals for air assets and other aspects of security. And like we said, it's not only the kinetic effort, the non-kinetic aspects that is most important. The President is also looking at the aspects of also discussing with the government for their own support, buy-in in ensuring that dividends of democracy also extends to the communities to be able to stamp down the issue of insecurity. And we're working together. You can see that we're together with the National Security Advisor, the NSA, the DGDSS, and all other ones. So we're working together as a team. And you can see us here, members of the armed forces, working in unity, including the police, to make sure that Nigeria is peaceful. And that is our mandate, and that we work towards. We want to appeal to all Nigerians not to get tired. And they should be wary of fake news. There's a lot of fake news that has been spread out, making it look, most of the videos being circulated are videos from other countries or old videos, making it look as if it is new. And you know, you always want to wonder why do some individuals feel happy when things go bad in their country? If Nigeria is destroyed, all of us will go down. And so it is important that we all cooperate with members of the armed forces and security agencies. If we see something that is going wrong anywhere in the country, let us report. Action will be taken, including our own personnel. If we see them doing what is not supposed to be done, they should take a report and we'll take action. We want to thank all Nigerians for the support we've been getting. The federal government is doing so much. States need to come in, local governments and communities. Everyone has a role to play in ensuring that there's peace in Nigeria, and that's what we try to push, and that's what we're doing. And we're happy that Nigerians are warming up to it. Disregarding all those ones, there are naysayers, those ones that don't mean us well. We're shaming them because we're going to continue to succeed.
The defense chief implored state governors and all Nigerians to continue to support them to deliver a more peaceful country to citizens. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to continue to place premium on acquisition of cutting-edge technology for the armed forces to reposition the nation's fighting force in line with international best practices in military warfare. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented President Bola Tinubu, affirmed this while inducting 2 newly acquired Tracker helicopters and the presidential air fleet in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello has the details.
We got 2 helicopters, A109 Tracker helicopters, into the Nigerian Air Force.
Priority 2 of the 8 under President Bola Tinubu's administration, which is to strengthen national security for peace and prosperity, is again being demonstrated, and this time around it is the turn of the custodians of the sky, the Nigerian Air Force.
This induction ceremony, therefore, is not merely about adding new helicopters to our fleet. It is a strategic statement of intent, a demonstration of our collective resolve to strengthen our armed forces, defend our nation, and reinforce Nigeria's leadership role in Africa. I am overly confident, and rightly so, that the deployment of these newly acquired platforms will add impetus to the combat power of the Nigerian Air Force in tackling our contemporary security challenges, not only within the shores of our country, but also in the West African sub-region.
The newly inducted helicopters are tailored for multi-role operations, including surveillance, air support, and tactical troop transport.
The dynamic security landscape of our nation demands an agile, well-equipped and responsive Air Force, capable of rapid deployment across multiple theaters. This reality underscores the need for continuous investments in modern platforms to bolster the Nigerian Air Force's capacity to deliver air power across all spectrums of warfare.
The acquisition of 2 additional Tracker helicopters by the Nigerian Air Force is a testament to President Bola Tinubu's vision of repositioning the armed forces to be able to contend with contemporary security challenges in the country. From the Presidential Air Fleet here in Abuja, I am Olajide Bello, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has received the recently crowned Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Bimbola Abdulhakeem Owade I, on a courtesy visit, with both leaders conversing in partnership between political and traditional institutions to accelerate the development of the country. State House correspondent Musbah Al-Muhab reports.
Oba Abimbola Abdulhakeem Owade I was the special guest of the president this day. The paramount ruler ascended the prestigious throne of Alaafin of Oyo barely 5 months ago, and leaving his throne for the first official visit, none other deserves the rare privilege than the #1 citizen of a nation. Top members of the Council of Traditional Rulers in Oyo State accompanied the king. Describing the president as a man of many leadership capabilities, Oba Owade commended the Nigerian leader for his initiatives on economic reforms, infrastructure renewal, social welfare, security and agriculture. Now, as Nigerians look up to the president for social and economic turnaround, the Alaafin pledges support and partnership.
Your gracious reception of these visits is more than protocol. It is a mark of your character, your statesmanship, and your enduring regard for the pillars of traditional institution in national development. Your Excellency, the people of Oyo remember your journey. You are a man who rose through a crucible of political struggle with unmatched courage and charity. You have won many hearts, activist, strategist, bridge builder, and now the nation's foremost leader. Nigeria looks to you not wholly for leadership, but for restoration.
President Tinubu sure appreciates the honor of his visit. The president acknowledged the peaceful process leading up to the selection of a new Alaafin as a divine will of God and a success of Yoruba tradition. Appreciating the foresight of a traditional ruler for development, the president is hopeful for a partnership in the interest of Southwest and Nigeria at large.
My challenge to you already being addressed. My prayer is that God will give you the wisdom. Amen. And rest of mind. Amen. And give you success. Amen. To navigate your way through the kingdom. History will be yours. Amen. To define. By the grace of God Almighty. Amen. You'll be there, you will live long.
Oba Abimbola Abdulhakeem Owade I is the 46th Alaafin and the first on the throne to visit the State House. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
More facts are emerging on the achievements of the renewed Hope government under President Bola Tinubu, with the latest drop in the headline inflation to 0.52% in the month of April 2025. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris re-echoed these developments at the weekly ministerial press briefing in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The last 2 years under President Tinubu administration have been characterized with hope and aspirations, including the determined and courageous decisions by the government and the expectations of the citizens who feel the impact of government policies. While leading the weekly public engagement, the government image promoter highlighted latest progress report on inflation by the National Bureau of Statistics as part of indications that Nigerians, irrespective of their socio-economic status, are guaranteed a safer and more secure future.
I am pleased to announce encouraging news from the National Bureau of Statistics, which released the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, for April 2025 only yesterday. According to the report, the headline inflation rate for April stood at 23.71%, This represents a decrease of 0.52% from the 24.23% recorded in March 2025. Similarly, month-on-month inflation dropped by a notable 2.04%. From 3.90% in March to 1.86% in April. This, of course, did not just happen by chance. The President is focused and is determined, and his determination and his interventions are clearly paying off. The benefits of reform, though gradual, are real and measurable.
He has debunked claims being speculated that the ministerial press briefing has been relocated to London and urged responsive and purposeful conduct by the media. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
260 palliative projects located in different parts of the country are now at a 99% completion level. Minister of Works David Umahi disclosed this at the ministerial press briefing in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports that the minister reeled out a number of ongoing projects at different levels of completion in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
The 220 palliative projects, which cost 208 billion naira to accomplish, Minister of Works David Umahi says are ready now for inauguration. He explains that while President Tinubu's administration inherited a total of 2,604 major infrastructural projects across the country, the administration is prioritizing a total of 440. Meanwhile, a total of 65 new major projects have been introduced by the current administration nationwide.
These 2,604 projects inherited by the reason of removal of fuel subsidy and floating of the naira. The project then came to about 17 to 18 trillion. And today, projecting that is about 20 trillion. We have also completed another set of 19 projects. And some of these projects like the Yakasi project in Kano, which was about 34 kilometers, totally about 17 billion.
The minister explains the 4 legacy projects of President Tinubu's administration as essential in linking major roads on the economic corridors of the country to harness the potential of the commercial values chain in these areas.
The legacy project, Mr. President, is an investment, is beyond road construction. It is a road construction upon which other road arteries of the Federation will link up to.
Commending innovations in the procurement processes, the reinforced concrete pavement technology and the public-private partnership approach being adopted in the execution of the project, Minister David Umahi assures Nigerians of quality jobs to be delivered in all the contracts and urged Nigerians to support President Tinubu's administration. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Next in line at the 2025 ministerial briefing is Nigeria's Minister Hannatu Musawa, who has unveiled sweeping initiatives to boost Nigeria's global image, economy and job creation through culture and tourism, securing $300 million worth of investments and establishing creative hubs nationwide. Here is Ekemini Williams with the details.
Hannatu Musawa.
Nigeria's Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Barrister Hannatu Musawa, highlighted ambitious initiatives to reposition the country's creative economy, which include the launch of Destination 2030, aimed at showcasing Nigeria's power and influence globally, and Motherland 2025, which seeks to reconnect Nigerians in the diaspora with their roots and position Nigeria as a global tourism hub. Barrister Musawa noted that the ministry is also promoting the Nigerian film industry globally with participation in prestigious events like Cannes and Oscars.
In just 18 months, we have secured over $300 million in investment commitments and established innovative funding mechanisms like the Creative Economy Development Fund, and we have created infrastructure that will generate at least 2 million jobs, and we have elevated Nigeria's global cultural standing.
To drive economic growth and job creation, the ministry has established partnerships with banks to create Creative City, targeting $300 million in investment. Additionally, Nigeria has signed audio-visual co-production agreements with countries like Brazil, South Africa and France. Other initiatives include developing a national calendar of festivals, building a new museum in Abuja, and establishing creative hubs in all 6 geopolitical zones.
We have secured presently $200 million commitment from Afrexim Bank to accelerate building of cultural and creative industries. And this will be operationalized on June the 1st. So in the next couple of days, we're looking for creatives to apply because now we have funding.
Barrister Musawa's efforts align with President Bola Tinubu's vision to drive economic growth, create jobs and position Nigeria as a major player in the global creative economy, ultimately reducing dependence on oil exports and fostering a more resilient economy. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
And the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, has reaffirmed government's commitment to improving water supply, sanitation and hygiene in line with Sustainable Development Goal 6, which is access to water and sanitation for all. This assurance was made during the 8th Ministerial Press Briefing in Abuja, where the ministry's scorecard was presented. Usman Zubeiru reports.
Concerning the importance of water and sanitation to human existence, the present administration has taken steps to improve the sector. As the administration counts down its anniversary, Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation at the briefing said the federal government under the ministry has executed over 1,500 water and sanitation projects across the country. It also inaugurated 3 dams, Alaafin Multipurpose Dam in Niger State, Alaafin Hydropower Dam in Kogi State, and Amla Dam in Benue State, under the public-private partnership. The minister explained that the ministry under his watch has also completed several irrigation projects, including Bakalore in Zamfara State, Datinkuwa in Gombe State, and in Iwo State, while other 154,000 hectares of irrigable lands have been developed across the 12 river basin to ensure all year-round agricultural activities and also to achieve food security in the country. He reassured Nigeria of government's commitment in delivering 11 water projects before the end of the year, while over 30 major projects, including dams and water supply schemes, were at stages of completion.
We are saddled with the responsibility of developing, implementing policies, programs, and projects that will enable us meet and sustain the access to safe and sufficient water.
In the area of sanitation, Professor Utsev announced that the 40 additional local governments across the country have achieved open defecation-free status, bringing the total number of local governments that have attained the status to the country to 142 across the country, to ensure that every Nigerian enjoys access to clean and safe water as well as improved sanitation. Usman Zubeiru, NTA News.
We pause now for a brief commercial break. Don't go away. We'll return with more news shortly. The federal government has restated commitments to improving access to ear, nose and throat healthcare services across Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this when he received a delegation from the Otorhinolaryngological Society of Nigeria, led by its president, Professor Aliyu Muhammad Kodia, on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
With a specific focus on ENT care to address the rising cases of hearing loss and shortage of specialized medical personnel in the field, Vice President Kashim Shettima called for urgent action to upgrade Nigeria's healthcare infrastructure, restating the determination of the Tinubu administration to tackle key challenges in the ENT sector, including inadequate infrastructure, lack of equipment, and a growing wave of medical brain drain. He acknowledged the critical shortage of ENT specialists nationwide, saying there may not be up to 500 ENT surgeons in the country if immediate action is not taken, emphasizing that government support will not only focus on acquiring equipment, but will also prioritize the training, welfare, and retention of medical professionals in the field.
But where there is a will, there is always the way. The President is fully committed to revitalizing and repositioning the healthcare industry in this country. We need your partnership. We need your inputs. We need your perspectives. We are laymen. You are the people that will guide us. Come up with the ideas. We'll find windows to support you. This issue of implants and so on are doable. I want to thank you for staying in the country. And we are open for conversation, for dialogue, to see how we can address our health needs.
Professor Kodia drew attention to the alarming global and national statistics of hearing loss, describing it as a growing public health crisis. He cited data from the World Health Organization indicating that by 2050, nearly 2.5 billion people globally will experience some degree of hearing loss, with over 700 million requiring rehabilitation. Noting that Nigeria's National Policy and Strategic Plan for Ear and Hearing Care, launched in 2019, expired in 2023 without full implementation, calling it a missed opportunity to develop a sustainable hearing health framework. He reiterated Olson's readiness to partner with the government, private sector and international organizations to reduce the burden of hearing loss and improve access to quality ENT services in the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima was conferred with the honorary title of Ambassador of the medical body. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Now, over 500 women in Gombe State have benefited from the Seamless Maternal Care Program, a flagship initiative launched under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The program provides free, comprehensive and high-quality maternal health care services, revolutionizing health outcomes and transforming lives at health institutions nationwide. Zaro Adamu has the report.
The Seamless Maternal Care Program, introduced by President Tinubu, is aimed at reducing maternal mortality by ensuring that every woman receives health care regardless of her financial status. Salamatu Yakubu is one of the beneficiaries of the Safe Free Caesarean Surgery. She said the initiative is a life-saving program for the low-income earners. Before now, people who cannot afford the surgery go back home and can lead to loss of the baby, mother or both. For hundreds of women in Gombe, childbirth has become safer and more accessible. The initiative offers free comprehensive maternal services, which impact has been life-changing.
I really appreciate the effort of the federal government for this zeros payment of this year's, because I, in person speaking, I am part of a parcel of the beneficiary of this program.
The surgery of my sister was carried out free of charge, and the drugs were also free. The initiative offers free comprehensive maternal services, which impact has been life-changing.
Because of the number of people tripping, if you come to this ward, you'll find out that there are a lack of bed space. We need the government to come into maybe thinking of expansion, and probably the manpower aspect should also be considered in commensurate of the nature of the work that is coming as a result of this CMONG program.
Selected 154 health facilities run the free treatment of women. Zara Umar Adam, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed commitment to inclusive governance, national development and security across Nigeria. Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Communication, Daniel Bola, gave the assurance during a meeting with a delegation from the Charismatic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria at the State House, Abuja. The delegation, led by the Secretary General, Bishop Chevir Chanson, presented a set of concerns that affect socio-economic development of the country.
It is a known fact that Mr. President is committed to delivering on good governance and promise that he has made to the Nigerian people. And the promise is to ensure that the Nigerian people's hope in the Nigerian project is renewed, and that they in fact move from renewed hope to a much better life where people can have a testimony to say about the country that we live in. The decision that the president took, which at the beginning was tough, just as you rightly said, it characterizes the character of the president. And he applies the same principle in dealing with insecurity, which is why I want to allay your fears that on this matter of insecurity in the country, we will nip it. We will nip it in the bud.
We believe in the renewed hope agenda, and we believe he is taking the right steps. And we believe is that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is being supported, he will achieve much more. We are proud of his person, we are proud of his team, and we believe that this team will take us to the promised land in Nigeria.
The bishops also used the occasion to formally announce the 2025 Synod of the conference, which is expected to attract more than 600 bishops from Nigeria and 36 other countries. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the delegation submitted a formal request for a courtesy visit to the president and extended an invitation to him to deliver a keynote address at the 2025 Synod on Politics and Christianity in Contemporary Times, a correlation analysis. And now, let's go live to Lagos for the latest news. Our newscaster Hinginu has the details. Hinginu, how are you?
Stakeholders in the education sector gathered in Lagos to chart a new course for academic staff development and accountability in tertiary institutions. The engagement also explored how the Ministry of Education and TED-Fund are addressing pressing challenges in capacity building and project execution. Awal Yusuf Jibo reports.
The event brought together policymakers, academics and development partners to align Nigeria's tertiary education system with global standards in innovation, infrastructure and accountability. Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, while addressing the gathering, emphasized the ministry's decision to suspend foreign scholarship schemes for academic staff, citing data that showed nearly 80% of beneficiaries failed to return to their home institutions.
We're moving more funds into local institutions to help them invest more in their building their instructional capacity, building more resource base for them to continue to educate Nigerians.
Addressing concerns over the utilization of funds by academic institutions, the Executive Secretary of TED-Fund, Sonny Echono, said the agency is leveraging digital tools to monitor and evaluate projects in real time.
4 billion each for the facilities and equipment upgrade we're talking about, to expand their capacity to take more students in specialized fields of medicine, pharmacy, nursing and dentistry. We are also providing additional 750 million to each of them to build hostels.
For heads of institutions, the intervention could not have come at a better time.
That fund had given us some funding to expand our greenhouse facility. So we think that we already have the market, but if we want to export, government should also make it seamless for us.
I want to tell you that it's of great value to us, and I want to emphasize the fact that the federal government is actually trying its best in the education sector.
Stakeholders at the event say the engagement is addressing critical issues as Nigeria works to build a more inclusive and future-ready education system. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Away from education, a transport policy that takes into consideration present-day reality and advancement, experts say, is crucial to a sustainable transport system. This came to the fore at the second annual Global Transport Policy Intermodal System Roundtable. Bolaji Akim reports that the theme for this year is Sustainable Transport System, Global Best Practices and Lesson for Nigeria.
The Intermodal System Annual Roundtable is another opportunity for stakeholders and players in the transport sector across the country to x-ray the Nigerian transportation system with a view to charting a way forward in the sector. Speakers at the annual event, including the Lagos State Governor, who was represented by the Managing Director of Lamata, emphasized the critical role of an effective transportation system in the socio-economic development of any country.
By coordinating efforts across different modes of transport, road, rail, air, and sea, we can create seamless multimodal network.
Chairman and Chief Consultant of Global Transport Policy and players in the sector are of the view that creating a synergy between all modes of transportation will lead to an enabling environment, infrastructure development, and policy implementation in line with best global practices that will provide jobs and further boost the sector's contribution to the nation's GDP.
We are looking for opportunity to woo investors that will come on board and finance infrastructural development so we can have ease of transportation in Nigeria, and we can promote what we call intermodal facility in transportation industry.
It shapes how we access jobs, education, healthcare, and markets. It connects community, bridges social divide, and is a powerful tool for economic growth and urban development.
We also look at the Lagos-Abuja corridor, which is expected to move both people and goods from within the length and breadth of ECOWAS member states.
A communique at the end of the roundtable called for a holistic approach by both government and private sector participants in elevating the country's transportation sector, as this will improve the standard of living of Nigerians. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos. Network News continues after the break in Abuja with Maria Adu-Zakari on business segment of the news.
Welcome back. Let's talk business now. I am Maria Adu-Zakari. ECOWAS visits Solid Minerals Nigeria's mining cadastre office has been described as a model of digital excellence and transparency in the extractive industry. This was during a high-level visit by a delegation from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, who are in Abuja to finalize frameworks for a regional geo-extractive observatory and mining cadastral system. Leader of the delegation, William Badio, particularly commended the electronic mining cadastre plus system launched in November 2022. Director General of the Mining Cadastre Office, Obadiah Simon Nkom, said the visit was not just an honor for the agency, but for Nigeria's mining industry.
For a web-based system, you don't need to come to the cadastre, you submit your applications anywhere in the world, and it has actually boosted a lot of things. It has created more transparency, real time, because when you look at the system, you now know that it has, in fact, it has jumped our revenue astronomically. What we used to generate in a year, we now even generate it in a month.
All our member states, the other member states, can actually learn a lot, and we hope and pray that the Mining Cadastre Office will give us the opportunity for further collaboration in such a way that this kind of thing can be emulated in other member states in the region.
Nkom confirmed the support of the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alaki, for the ECOWAS initiative. The federal government is optimistic of achieving a $1 trillion economy with ongoing reforms and investment, particularly in the power sector, to boost electricity supply, thereby driving investment and growing MSMEs.
Progress, and it will continue. So, and you know, there are a lot of reforms. The ease of doing business and others are there to make investment easy in the country. And these are attracting a lot of investors into the country. And we've seen the ratings, those rating agencies have rated the country. We've seen a lot of improvement in the ratings.
Global commodities. Nigeria equities sustained their bullish run at the close of last day transaction for the week, extending the gains recorded in the previous session. The all-share index appreciated by 22 basis points, and we have 22 basis points to close at 109,710.13%, with investors gaining 152.55 billion naira as market capitalization increased to 68.95 trillion naira. While South Africa did not just get back with the bulls, but closed the day higher with 0.36%. Tunisia index was up 0.23% also. That's it for business. It's back to Lami now.
Thank you, Maria, for the update. Now, ECOWAS Ministers of Trade and Industry have rose from their fourth joint meeting in Abuja with a resolve to fast-track trade policies that prioritize inter-regional trade. Calvin Onwai reports that the meeting also reviewed existing trade protocols with a view to eliminating trade barriers within the sub-region.
Trade among ECOWAS member states currently stands at 7%, the lowest among all regional economic blocs in Africa. The target is to raise it to at least 40% so that the region can position itself to reap the benefits of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This meeting of ECOWAS Ministers of Trade and Industry is therefore seeking adjustments in the implementation of ECOWAS trade protocols in favor of a more people-focused policy in line with the ECOWAS Vision 2050 objectives. Nigeria's Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, chaired the meeting.
The recent global disruptions have underscored the urgency of diversifying our economies, strengthening our industrial bases, and nurturing new partnerships. The development of regional value chains in sectors such as automotive industry, prioritizing of regional trade in services, and the acceleration of digital trade, both regionally and continentally under the AfCFTA framework, are critical areas that require our focused attention.
Outcomes of the review are expected to form bulk of the new trade protocols to be presented to the ECOWAS Commission for implementation. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewunwaye, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 9. We now go for the break, after which we bring you sports news. Do stay. We go to Bade for sports.
Many thanks, Lami. Let's let you know that all is now set for the 22nd National Sports Festival in Ogun State, with the Games Torch of Unity now in the host state. The torch, which toured all the states of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory, was received by Governor Dakwa Abiodun, who assured on delivering the best edition yet of the festival.
It transcends differences, fostering an environment where collaboration, friendship, and mutual respect flourish.
Now, President Badminton Federation of Nigeria, Francis Obe, says his recent election into the Council of the World Badminton Federation will open more doors of opportunities in the sports to Nigeria and Africa by extension. Obe, who is one of the 2 Africans on the BWF Council, says he has begun moves that will see badminton in Nigeria witness a rapid growth.
I want to use the opportunity because it opens a lot of doors, networking opportunities. You meet colleagues and people from all other.
All right, that does it on sports tonight. Let's return to Lami.
Thank you, Badi. Well, at the beginning of the news, we asked you to participate in our survey, asking you what JAMB should do to improve on the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations. Now, here is the result. 46% said JAMB should accredit only up-to-date centers to conduct UTME. 22.6% are of the opinion that centers that fail to meet expectations should be banned from conducting the exams. Total of 22.6% feel JAMB should reduce the number of centers and conduct the exams in batches. 7% of respondents are indifferent, while 1.6% said UTME should only be conducted in urban centers. And that's your result. This is also where we come to the end of the news for today. We thank you for being a part of it. Do have a beautiful weekend. I'm Lami Ali.